Hi students, we are back to our lectures today, right? This is our last chapter, but a very important chapter. It gives you a lot of topics to think about what we do every day, right? You are eating biscuits or chips, you are throwing away the packets, you are sharpening your pencils just for fun, you are throwing them away. You are tearing off the papers of your notebook to make aeroplanes, to do so many art and craft, you are throwing them away. You are buying many tickets to some shows or tickets to some movies, you are throwing them away. You are done with your notebooks, you are throwing them away. So where is all this waste material going? Right? You keep losing on the caps of your pens, then you throw away the pens. You use so many cosmetic items, you use so many items for your routine, and then you throw the empty boxes away. Everything nowadays comes in a plastic box or in a tin, and when we are done with them, when they are finished, we throw them away, right? We are throwing away so many things every day. So have you ever given a thought to what happens to these waste materials? So these waste materials are called garbage. So garbage is basically which is not of your use and you are throwing them away, right? So this garbage, what is happening to these garbage? Where do they go? What happens to them? Are they recycled? Are they kept at some places? Imagine that every garbage you are throwing day in and day out does not get picked by anyone. They just lie wherever you have thrown them. Whether in school or on the road where you have thrown the peanuts, the peanut shells, right? Or at your home. What if no one picks up the garbage you are creating? Do you think you will be able to live in this world? No. It is a very question of great intense, and you all should be starting to think about it, right? So, there might be many Safai Karmacharis in your areas, which you have seen. These people collect the garbage from every house and then they load into the trucks, and then that truck goes somewhere. You do not know where. Today we are going to see where do these trucks go. Where is this garbage kept? What is done to this garbage? Right? So, once you have done all the garbage, these karmacharis take all of them and then they go to an area which is nearby, not in the city, which is nearby the city, okay? Or maybe far away from the city in low-lying areas called landfills. So what are landfills? Landfills are low-lying areas where the collected garbage is dumped. Collected garbage is dumped, right? But this dumping is not easy, students. Before dumping, the garbage is separated. There are people dedicated to do that task. I know it is not a task which all of us would like to do. So we should really appreciate the efforts of the people who are doing it for us, right? We should appreciate, we should honor these Safai Karmacharis who are actually helping us to clean this environment, to clean the garbage we are creating. So these people separate the components into useful and non-useful. There are some components in the garbage which can be converted to manure later, okay? But there are some components which cannot be, like the plastics, like the plastic bags which you use every day and throw them out. So what do? They separate the garbage into useful and non-useful. Let's see what happens after that. So now the garbage is there. It is collected from the city. This garbage is now divided to two. Useful and non-useful. The useful components which can be the wet components, mostly the peel of the vegetables, the domestic garbage, all these are taken to areas nearby the pits, which will be converted as compost. We will see what a compost is. They are composted. Okay, and after compost, manure is formed. We will see this process shortly. Let's come to the non-useful part. The non-useful part is spread out in the low-lying areas and then it is covered with the soil. After the soil is put, it is again leveled with some soil, and maybe this covered area is used as a playground or things like that. No building is constructed at this place for 20 or more than 20 years. After 20 or some years, after 2 decades, that garbage is settled inside it and now buildings can be constructed. So till this time it is used as an open ground. Okay, so these non-useful components, they are taken to the landfills, and in the landfills they are converted to playgrounds or maybe a park, but no construction is done. Okay, they are used as open grounds or areas. Now we will see about this. What is a compost? So what is a compost? The materials like the peels of vegetables, peels of fruits, the rotten food, the waste food which is many times thrown away, right? And rotten fruits itself, not only the peels, the rotten fruits or maybe grains, the wasted grains, grains which are spoiled by the insects. So all these things which you throw away from your home, they are taken and they are put in pits. So this is a leveled ground. This ground is dug and all the garbage is filled here, and again it is covered with the soil. It is kept for some days or months, and after some days all these are converted, they are decomposed and it forms a manure. Okay, and you all know that manures make the soil fertile. These manures can be then used to grow crops, they can be used in agriculture, farming, right? And these are all organic, there are no chemicals used. So they are better than the fertilizers also. So then the pit is opened and this manure is collected and may be sold or used by the farmers. So the waste which you are throwing, you can see how they are being utilized in beautiful ways, right? But even then, you know, the wastes which you are using here, they are going inside the soil. Soil is our natural resource. And these plastics, these polythene bags are never going to be decomposed. They are always going to be like that. So they are going to spoil the environment. They are going to disturb the water table inside. They are going to disturb the organisms inside. Right? When the organisms are trapped in those polythene bags, they cannot breathe. So that is a completely different case, that you should not be using these things. But here what we are discussing is when you throw them out, what happens to them, right? And here, you know, this compost is formed and manure is created. Now students, there is one more topic related to it. This composting can be done in another way also, which is called vermicomposting. I want to explain to you about it. Okay students, so now we have seen composting. You know, when you want to observe the composting, if you put an observation to the municipality around you, at some places there are 2 types of dustbins provided, right? One is blue and one is green. Do you know the difference between those dustbins? Why one dustbin is blue and why one dustbin is green? Oh, sorry. The blue dustbin is for those items which can be reused. The blue dustbins is for those items which can be reused, like your plastics, glass material or steel things if you throw out. So these things, they are taken and they are disposed in a proper way. Plastic bottles can be maybe recycled to do something. So at your home also, when you throw the garbage, you should have an arrangement that you keep the plastic bottles separately, that you keep the glass bottles separately and dispose them off in the proper way, right? Like newspapers, the the waste newspapers, you can actually sell it to a raddiwala, because he will take it to the correct place. You can sell the plastics, the cartons, the glasses to the particular people who take them. So this is the proper way of disposing of the waste materials, disposing of the garbage, because you are throwing them away, but there is a person who has to sort them out. So you can do this at the initial level and sort them out and then throw it away, which will create lesser mess at the end. So here reusable items like plastics, like glass bottles are thrown. Okay, and in the green, it is for green. The symbol itself says it is for plant waste, it is for domestic waste, animal waste. Okay, so domestic waste and plant and animal waste should be thrown into the green bins. And then directly what they can do, they can take this green bag and keep it inside the compost, as we discussed earlier, and composting can be done. So what is composting? The rotting of the green materials and their conversion into manure is called composting. The green dustbin or the domestic waste, plant and animal waste, when they are kept in a pit, they are decomposed, they get rotten, and they are converted into manure. This process is called composting. In the next lecture, we will see few different methods of composting as well. Till then, bye.